The halls of Room 222 once echoed with laughter, learning, and the groundbreaking stories of tolerance that made this Emmy-winning series a cultural phenomenon. Yet, behind the cameras, tragedy has quietly claimed 7 beloved cast members who brought Walt Whitman High School to life. From the show's idealistic leading man, who died far too young, to character actors who graced countless episodes, these performers left indelible marks on television history before their own stories reached unexpected, heartbreaking conclusions. Their deaths spanned decades, each telling a poignant tale of lives cut short by illness, leaving fans to wonder what might have been. Lloyd Haynes, the heart of Room 222. Lloyd Haynes was the beating heart of Room 222, playing Pete Dixon, the idealistic African-American history teacher who made Walt Whitman High School feel like a place where every student mattered. When the show premiered in September 1969, Haynes broke new ground as one of the first black actors to star as the lead character in a primetime television series, bringing dignity and warmth to a role that would inspire both viewers and the television industry for years to come. Born Samuel Lloyd Haynes on October 19, 1934 in South Bend, Indiana, he grew up in a working-class family before answering the call to serve his country. Haynes spent 12 years in the United States Marine Corps from 1952 to 1964, rising through the ranks and serving during the Korean War with distinction. After completing his military service, he held the rank of commander as a public affairs officer for the Naval Reserve, showing the same leadership qualities that would later make Pete Dixon such a compelling character on television. Following his military career, Haynes made the bold decision to pursue acting, studying at the Film Industries Workshop and Actors West in Los Angeles. His early television work included guest appearances on shows like Batman and a memorable role as communications officer Alden in the Star Trek pilot episode Where No Man Has Gone Before in 1965. These smaller roles helped him develop his craft, but nothing could have prepared him for the life-changing opportunity that would come with Room 222. When Haynes landed the role of Pete Dixon, he understood the weight of responsibility that came with being television's first black leading man in a drama series. His portrayal of the patient, understanding teacher who used gentle wisdom to guide his diverse group of students through the turbulent social changes of the late 1960s and early 1970s resonated with audiences across America. The show tackled difficult subjects like racism, drug use, and teenage pregnancy with sensitivity, and Haynes's steady presence anchored every episode with quiet strength and genuine compassion. Beyond his television success, Haynes appeared in several notable films, including Ice Station Zebra in 1968, Madigan that same year, and later The Greatest in 1977, where he played boxer Muhammad Ali's manager. His film work demonstrated his range as an actor, but it was his commitment to education and social causes that truly defined his character off-screen. Tragically, Haynes's promising life and career were cut short when he was diagnosed with lung cancer at the age of 52. He continued working even during his illness, appearing on the soap opera General Hospital as Mayor Ken Morgan right up until his death. On December 31, 1986, Lloyd Haynes passed away at his home in Coronado, California, leaving behind his wife Carolyn and their young daughter Jessica. Lloyd Haynes's legacy extends far beyond his 5 seasons on Room 222, as he opened doors for future generations of black actors and showed television audiences that stories about education, tolerance, and understanding could be both entertaining and meaningful. Michael Constantine, the wise authority figure. Michael Constantine brought Principal Seymour Kaufman to life with such perfect timing and dry humor that he became the heart of Room 222's authority structure, serving as the understanding administrator who balanced the needs of students, teachers, and parents with remarkable wisdom and patience. His portrayal of the somewhat overwhelmed but deeply caring principal earned him an Emmy Award for Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Comedy Series in 1970, establishing him as one of television's most beloved school administrators and proving that authority figures could be both firm and compassionate. Born Konstantin Ioannidis on May 22, 1927, in Reading, Pennsylvania, to Greek immigrant parents, he grew up in a working-class household where only Greek was spoken at home until he learned English at age 7. His father worked as a steel worker while his mother kept house, and young Konstantin often felt out of place in his small Pennsylvania town, an experience that would later inform his ability to portray characters who understood what it meant to feel different or misunderstood. After high school, Konstantin moved to New York City to pursue acting, supporting himself through various jobs, including working as a night watchman, hamburger counterman, and shooting gallery barker while studying his craft. He made his Broadway debut in 1955 as an understudy to Paul Muni in Inherit the Wind, gradually working his way up from extra to featured player in several productions including The Miracle Worker and Compulsion throughout the late 1950s and early 1960s. Konstantin's film career began with a small role in The Last Mile in '59, but it was his memorable supporting performance in The Hustler in 1961 that showcased his ability to bring depth to seemingly simple characters. Throughout the 1960s, he appeared regularly on television shows like Perry Mason, The Twilight Zone, and Gunsmoke, developing a reputation as a reliable character actor who could handle both comedy and drama with equal skill. The role of Principal Kaufman on Room 222 became Konstantin's breakthrough performance, allowing him to display his gift for finding humor in everyday situations while maintaining the dignity and respect that the character demanded. His chemistry with the entire cast, particularly Lloyd Haynes and Karen Valentine, helped create the warm family atmosphere that made the show such a success. And his Emmy win recognized not just his individual performance, but his contribution to the show's overall excellence. Decades later, Konstantin experienced a remarkable career revival when he was cast as Kostas Gus Portokalos, the Windex-obsessed Greek father in My Big Fat Greek Wedding in 2002. The film became the highest-grossing romantic comedy of all time, and Konstantin's portrayal of the proud, loving patriarch introduced him to an entirely new generation of fans who embraced his warmth and humor. On August 31, 2021, Michael Konstantin died peacefully at his home in Reading, Pennsylvania, at the age of 94, surrounded by family and friends after a long and fulfilling life. Michael Konstantin's legacy lives on through two iconic characters that brought joy and wisdom to millions of viewers across different generations. Bruno Kirby, the recurring student. Bruno Kirby brought energy and authenticity to his recurring role as Herbie Constantine on Room 222, playing one of the students at Walt Whitman High School with the kind of natural performance that made viewers believe he really belonged in Pete Dixon's classroom. Though his appearances on the show were scattered across several episodes from 1971 to 1973, Kirby's distinctive high-pitched voice and animated delivery made him memorable to audiences, and his work on Room 222 served as an important stepping stone in what would become a remarkable career as one of Hollywood's most recognizable character actors. Born Bruno Giovanni Guidacciolo Jr. on April 28, 1949 in New York City, he grew up in Hell's Kitchen with his father, actor Bruce Kirby, who would become both a mentor and frequent collaborator throughout Bruno's career. The younger Kirby shared the same birthday as his father, creating a special bond between them that extended beyond their family relationship into their professional lives. And he learned early on about the dedication and craft required to succeed as a working actor in the entertainment industry. Kirby's television career began in the early 1970s with guest appearances on shows like Room 222, and he quickly moved into film work with small parts in movies like Cinderella Liberty in 1973. However, it was his role as the young Peter Clemenza in Francis Ford Coppola's The Godfather Part II in 1974 that truly launched his career and showcased his ability to bring depth and authenticity to supporting characters. establishing him as an actor who could hold his own alongside some of the biggest names in Hollywood. Throughout the 1980s and 1990s, Kirby became a fixture in both comedies and dramas, appearing in memorable films like This Is Spinal Tap in 1984, where he played a limo driver obsessed with Frank Sinatra, and Good Morning Vietnam in 1987, where he held his own alongside Robin Williams. His most beloved performances came in his collaborations with Billy Crystal, first in When Harry Met Sally in 1989, where he played Jess, Harry's best friend who delivered some of the film's funniest lines, and then in City Slickers in 1991, where he played Ed, Crystal's character's loyal friend on their cattle-driving adventure. Kirby's success came from his ability to make every character feel like a real person rather than just a supporting role, and his performances always seemed effortless and natural, even when he was delivering complicated dialogue or working in challenging dramatic scenes. He continued working steadily throughout the 1990s and into the 2000s, appearing in films like Donnie Brasco in 1997 and taking on television roles that showcased his range as a performer. In the summer of 2006, Bruno Kirby was diagnosed with leukemia, a devastating diagnosis that came as a shock to his family, friends, and colleagues in the entertainment industry. Despite his battle with the disease, he remained positive and continued working when possible. But the illness progressed rapidly and aggressively. On August 14, 2006, Bruno Kirby died at his home in Los Angeles from complications related to leukemia just 3 weeks after his initial diagnosis at the age of 57. Bruno Kirby's legacy as a character actor who brought authenticity and heart to every role continues to inspire performers and entertain audiences who discover his work for the first time. Eve McVey, the PTA member. Eve McVey brought authenticity and warmth to her recurring role as Madge Morano on Room 222, playing the kind of concerned parent and PTA member that every school needs. Someone who cared deeply about education and wanted the best for all the students at Walt Whitman High School. Though her appearances on the show were limited to just 2 episodes in 1969 and 1971, McVey's natural ability to portray everyday people with genuine emotion made her scenes memorable. And her work on Room 222 was just one small part of a remarkable 5-decade career that spanned radio, television, film, and stage. Born Eva Elizabeth McVey on July 15, 1919 in Cincinnati, Ohio, she moved to Los Angeles with her widowed mother and grandmother in 1923 when she was just 4 years old, growing up in an era when the entertainment industry was still finding its footing and opportunities for women were limited but growing. She began acting in local theater as a teenager, showing an early talent for bringing characters to life with honesty and depth that would serve her well throughout her long career. In her 20s, McVey moved to New York City to pursue more serious acting opportunities, where she found work in radio and eventually made it to Broadway with roles in productions like Snafu from 1944 to 1945 and Too Hot for Maneuvers in 1945. Her stage work earned positive reviews, and she briefly took over the female lead at the National Theater in Washington, D.C. in 1945, but like many actors of her generation, she eventually returned to Los Angeles, where film and television offered more steady work and better opportunities for character actors. McVey's film career began with a supporting role in the classic Western High Noon in 1952, where she appeared alongside Gary Cooper and Grace Kelly. And throughout the 1950s, she worked regularly for Columbia Pictures in films like Tight Spot with Ginger Rogers and The Cobweb with Richard Widmark and Lauren Bacall. The New York Times praised her performance in Tight Spot, calling her reunion scene with Ginger Rogers an ugly, blistering pip, which showed her ability to bring emotional depth to even small supporting roles. Television became McVey's primary focus from the 1960s onward, and she became a familiar face to viewers through her regular appearances on popular shows like The Red Skelton Show, where she was a regular cast member during the show's final season, and guest spots on series including I Love Lucy, Perry Mason, Gunsmoke, Bonanza, and Hill Street Blues. Her work with Lucille Ball was particularly significant, as Ball became a supporter of McVeigh's career and featured her on multiple shows over the years. McVeigh continued working steadily into the 1980s, appearing in episodes of Cagney and Lacey, Highway to Heaven, and Simon and Simon, always bringing the same professionalism and skill to her performances that had made her a sought-after character actress for decades. On December 10, 1997, Eve McVeigh Gordon died from natural causes in Los Angeles at the age of 78, after completing a career that spanned 52 years and included countless memorable performances across all entertainment mediums. Eve McVeigh's legacy as a dedicated character actress who brought authenticity to every role serves as a reminder of the importance of supporting players in creating believable and engaging television and film. Helen Klebe, the fellow educator. Helen Klebe brought quiet dignity and professional warmth to her recurring role as Miss Tandy on Room 222, appearing in 4 episodes between 1969 and 1971 as one of the fellow educators at Walt Whitman High School who worked alongside Pete Dixon and the main faculty members. Though her time on the show was limited, Klebe's natural ability to portray dedicated teachers and caring authority figures made her scenes feel authentic and helped create the believable school environment that made Room 222 such a groundbreaking series. And her work on the show was just one highlight in a career that would span nearly 50 years in entertainment. Born on January 6, 1907, in South Bend, Washington, Helen Klebe discovered her love for performing arts during her youth and pursued formal training at the Ellison White Conservatory of Music in Portland, Oregon, where she studied both acting and music in the late 1920s. Her early career began on stage in Portland theater productions, and she also gained valuable experience in radio broadcasting, working on local Portland radio stations where she developed the clear speaking voice and professional presence that would serve her well throughout her long career in entertainment. Klebe moved into radio work more seriously during the 1940s, lending her voice to various programs, including the radio series Candy Matson from 1949 to 1951, where she performed different character voices and helped bring the detective stories to life for radio audiences across the country. Her radio experience taught her the importance of vocal expression and timing, skills that translated perfectly when she eventually moved into television work during the medium's early days. Television became Klebe's primary focus starting in the 1950s, and she quickly established herself as one of the most reliable character actresses in Hollywood, appearing in guest roles on classic series like I Love Lucy, Dennis the Menace, The Andy Griffith Show, Gunsmoke, Bewitched, and Get Smart. Her ability to play a wide range of characters, from stern authority figures to kindly neighbors, made her a favorite among casting directors who knew they could count on her to deliver solid performances regardless of the size of her role. The role that would define Klebe's later career came in 1972 when she was cast as Miss Mamie Baldwin on The Waltons, playing one of the eccentric Baldwin sisters who ran the local recipe business and provided both comedy and heart to the beloved family drama. Her work on The Waltons from 1972 to 1981 introduced her to a new generation of viewers and showed her talent for creating memorable characters who felt like real people rather than just supporting players in someone else's story. Klebe continued working well into her 80s, appearing in episodes of Little House on the Prairie, Highway to Heaven, and The Golden Girls, always bringing the same professionalism and skill that had made her a sought-after character actress for decades. Her longevity in the business was a testament to her adaptability and her understanding of how to serve the story while still making each character distinctive and memorable. On December 28, 2003, Helen Klebe died from natural causes in Los Angeles at the remarkable age of 96. Having lived through nearly a century of changes in the entertainment industry and having contributed to some of television's most beloved shows. Helen Klebe's legacy as a dedicated character actress who brought authenticity and warmth to every role, continues to inspire performers and reminds us of the importance of supporting actors in creating memorable television. Patsy Garrett, the school secretary. Patsy Garrett brought cheerful efficiency and motherly warmth to her role as Miss Hogarth, the school secretary at Walt Whitman High School on Room 222, appearing in 12 episodes between 1969 and 1973 as the administrative backbone who kept Principal Kaufman organized and helped students navigate the complexities of high school bureaucracy. Her portrayal of the caring secretary who always had time to listen to students' problems and offer gentle guidance made her an essential part of the show's family atmosphere. And viewers came to appreciate how Miss Hogarth represented the unsung heroes who work behind the scenes in every school to make sure everything runs smoothly. Born Virginia Garrett on May 4, 1921, in Atlantic City, New Jersey, to parents who were vaudevillians performing under the name Mason and Gwynn, she was surrounded by entertainment from birth and showed an early talent for performing that would shape her entire life. At just 7 years old, Garrett had her own children's radio show on a Richmond, Virginia station, demonstrating the natural charm and vocal ability that would make her a favorite with audiences for decades to come. And by age 17, she had become a regular performer on Fred Waring's national radio show Pleasure Time from 1938 to 1945. During her time with Fred Waring and his Pennsylvanians, Garrett gained valuable experience as a comic singer and entertainer, and she even caught the attention of composer Cole Porter, who asked her to help promote his now classic song Begin the Begin for a new musical. Her 7 years with the popular radio show established her as a professional performer and gave her the confidence and skills she would need when television eventually became the dominant entertainment medium. Garrett's transition to television came naturally in the 1960s, and she quickly became known for playing the kinds of warm, supportive characters that audiences loved, including her recurring role as the nosy but well-meaning neighbor Florence Fowler on Nanny and the Professor from 1970 to 1971. However, it was her work in commercials that made her truly famous to television viewers across America, as she became the beloved Purina Cat Chow Lady in a series of popular advertisements during the 1970s where she danced with cats while singing the memorable Chow 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 jingle. In addition to her television work, Garrett found success in family films, playing Mary Gruber, the kind housekeeper in the Benji series of movies beginning in 1974, a role that introduced her to younger audiences and showed her ability to bring maternal warmth to the big screen. Her numerous television appearances throughout the 1960s, 1970s, and 1980s included guest spots on shows like The Waltons, Medical Center, Kojak, and Family, and she continued working well into the 1980s with her final television role coming in 1981 on Red Fox's show, Sanford. Garrett's personal life included an interesting connection to Elvis Presley, whom she met while working on his 1969 film, The Trouble with Girls, and the two reportedly became lifelong friends after she baked him special cookies during the filming, leading to a friendship that lasted until his death. On January 8, 2015, Patsy Garrett died after a brief illness in Indio, California, at the age of 93, passing away on what would have been Elvis Presley's 80th birthday. Patsy Garrett's legacy as a performer who brought joy and warmth to every role continues to live on through her memorable characters and the countless viewers who remember her fondly. Ramon Bieri, the administrative support. Ramon Bieri brought commanding presence and quiet authority to his recurring role as Vice Principal Gil Casey on Room 222, appearing in 4 episodes between 1969 and 1970 as the administrative support who worked alongside Principal Kaufman to handle the daily challenges of running Walt Whitman High School. His portrayal of the dedicated vice principal who understood both the pressures facing educators and the needs of students helped create the realistic school environment that made Room 222 so believable. And his natural ability to project both strength and compassion made him perfect for roles where characters needed to be tough but fair. Born Ramon Arensbieri on June 16, 1929, in Hartford, Connecticut, he grew up during the Great Depression and came of age during World War II, experiences that shaped his understanding of duty and service that would influence both his military career and his later work as an actor. Bieri served his country as a decorated veteran during the Korean War, where he learned the leadership skills and sense of responsibility that would later help him portray authority figures with authentic conviction and natural command presence. After completing his military service, Bieri discovered his passion for acting and began performing on stage in 1954, launching a theatrical career that would include both Broadway and off-Broadway productions throughout the 1950s and 1960s. His stage work included performances in classics like Death of a Salesman in 1975, and later work with prestigious theater companies including New York's Shakespeare in the Park, Ohio's Shakespeare Festival, and San Diego's Old Globe Theater, where he became known for his powerful performances in dramatic roles that required both physical presence and emotional depth. Bieri's transition to television and film came in the early 1960s, and he quickly established himself as one of Hollywood's most reliable character actors, typically playing gruff authority figures, tough cops, and hard-edged military men who brought both strength and humanity to their roles. His breakthrough film performance came in 1971 with The Andromeda Strain, where he played Major Manchek in the science fiction thriller, and he followed that success with a memorable role as Kato in Terrence Malick's influential crime drama Badlands in 1973. Working alongside Martin Sheen and Sissy Spacek, television became Bieri's primary focus throughout the 1970s and 1980s, and he became a familiar face to viewers through his guest appearances on popular shows like Gunsmoke, Bonanza, Little House on the Prairie, The Rockford Files, and Saint Elsewhere, always bringing the same professionalism and skill to each performance, regardless of the size of his role. He also starred in his own short-lived NBC sitcom, Joe's World, from 1979 to 1980, playing Joe Wabash, a Detroit house painter trying to raise 5 children, which showed his range as a performer who could handle both comedy and drama with equal effectiveness. Later in his career, Bieri co-starred with James Garner in the 1981 television series Brett Maverick, playing banker Elijah Crow, and continued making guest appearances on popular shows throughout the 1980s and 1990s, including Murder, She Wrote, Highway to Heaven, and L.A. Law, always bringing the same dedication and professionalism that had made him a sought-after character actor for nearly 4 decades. In 2001, Ramon Bieri was diagnosed with cancer, and despite his battle with the disease, he remained positive and continued working when his health allowed. On May 27, 2001, Ramon Bieri died from cancer at the Motion Picture Fund Hospital in Woodland Hills, California, at the age of 71. Ramon Bieri's legacy as a character actor who brought authenticity and strength to every role continues to inspire performers and reminds us of the importance of supporting actors in creating memorable television and film.